So, I don't know if you know this, but I am pregnant. I'm having a little girl and I could not be more excited. And there's a lot of things that are coming up for me when it comes to getting ready for the baby, especially when it comes to my business. It's a really big shift with me because I've never had to deal with anything like this before. It's totally new and at times totally overwhelming. And so I'm making this video because I wish there was a video out there like this. I wish there was a video that told me, okay, you're pregnant, here's how you prepare for your business. Here's how you get your business ready for a baby. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through everything that I am doing to get my business ready for my baby. By the way, if you're new here, I make new videos 3 times a week, helping you make more money in your business. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos. Okay, so here's the thing. As we get into this video, what I want you to know is that every pregnancy is different. So I'm not making this video saying these are things you have to do in your pregnancy. I'm sharing, here's what I am doing. Here's what works for me. So every pregnancy is different, and this is just me sharing what I'm doing. So I am preparing 4 things that I'm preparing in my business, and I wanna go over them. I got some really good notes here. First thing that I'm preparing is my mind. So I'm preparing my mindset. I'm gonna be really real with you in this video. For me, there's just been so many fears that come up for me as I step into this new stage of life, around so much of my identity right now is wrapped around business owner, entrepreneur, and it's changing. I'm going through an identity change. And so there's a lot of fears that are coming up for me right now. And what I've been reminding myself is that fears are false evidence appearing real. It's the cheesiest acronym, but it works for me. This is false evidence that's appearing real. And I wrote down that I've had to go back to the basics of my mental training. So 9 or 10 years ago, you wouldn't recognize me. I always complained. I was always negative. I never had a positive outlook on life. I had to learn the basics of gratitude, positive outlooks, seeing the best in things, encouraging myself, right? Not throwing a pity party for myself. I've had to go back to the basics with that. It's really been hard for me to choose gratitude on some days. It's been hard for me to feel encouraged on some days. It hasn't been easy. I've been really struggling with that, and I've had to go back to the basics. The other thing that I've been doing that's been really helping is I've been doing a lot of breath work. And breath work is just literally, you're literally just taking deep breaths. So it's really simple, which I like. And so what I'll do is I'll just go to YouTube and I search 5-minute breath work, and I just start my mornings by just Second thing I am preparing in my business as I get ready for this little baby is I'm preparing my team. So my team, they all know that I'm expecting and we're making plans for it. I'm going to be taking a maternity leave. I don't know how long yet. We'll talk about that later in the video. But as a company, what we're starting to do, and I would encourage you to do this, even if you're a company of one, you're still a company, analyze what you're spending your time on. So we all know the more kids you have, the less time you have. I talk to a lot of parents and they say that having kids actually pushed them to be more productive because they had less time to get the same amount of work done. So they just worked a little faster. And that's essentially what I'm doing right now. And as a whole company, we're analyzing what is Maria spending her time on and what parts of the business would break if she took a 4-month maternity leave, for example. So we're starting to really be smart about where I'm spending my time. And honestly, as a CEO, this is something that should be happening whether or not you're planning on taking a maternity leave. You should be analyzing what you're spending your time on. The other thing that I did is I hired a general manager who's going to be helping me run the company while I'm gone and just in general run the company so I can focus on bigger picture CEO things. And to be honest with you, there was a lot of time I was just scrolling Facebook, and that's been real illuminating. It's man, I just need to get my phone on the other side of the room so I can actually get work done. So some of it's high level things like hire a general manager. And then other parts of it is stop being on Facebook so much. There's nothing important on Facebook right now. Go do some work. Third thing that I'm doing is I am preparing my content. So there's some things that you can do in advance to help prepare for time off. And one of those things is content. So Johnny and I are tripling up on the videos that we're making so I can take ideally 5 months off of filming because I don't know, I might, I'm going to get bigger as I get pregnant. So I might not want to be on film so much, or I might just not be feeling up to filming. And so we are tripling up on the content we're filming. It's been hard. So it's like right now we're in this funny little dance where we film a bunch and then I'm sick, so I can't film, so we lose our backlog. So what we're attempting to do is get a really big backlog so I can take that time off, and that's what we're working towards right now. What I'm also doing is I'm preparing content to be shared with my students while I'm gone. So I'm writing content that will be released that will help my students. So they're still seeing wins, they're still making progress in their business, they're still being supported as they take time off. And finally, what I'm realizing is we're doing a little at a time. So with all this content preparation, it can feel really overwhelming, but what we're doing is a little bit at a time, and it's stacking up pretty quickly. It's really nice to know, okay, I've got this backlog. We're good to go. It just feels really good. It's one less thing for me to worry about as I make this big life change. Fourth and finally, I am preparing my programs, right? So I'm preparing my deliverables to my students. My goal with this pregnancy is to do something that I've never seen done before, which is to really model how a successful businesswoman, because that's what I am, I'm a successful business owner, how you can take maternity leave and still help your business thrive and your students' businesses thrive. That's my goal. I want to model being able to take time off and not be tied to your computer 24/7. Practically speaking, what we're doing is a couple things. I'm just going to read off the list. I'm preparing my coaching programs for my leave. And so what we're going to be doing is bringing in a bunch of my millionaire friends. I have a ton of friends who are millionaires, and they're going to be speaking and coaching my students when I'm gone. So my students are going to get to learn not just from one 7-figure earner, but from 20 7-figure earners. We're going to offer just a really cool variety of topics on things that I might not even be able to speak to. So it's going to be, in my opinion, even more value for our students, which is going to be awesome. I can't wait. Like, I'm literally excited for this period of my business. We're also going to be releasing a bunch of stuff that I'm creating right now, which is going to be awesome. My mentor had me sit down, and I'd encourage you to do this too. He had me sit down and make a list of 7 ways I can provide value to my students without them needing me, right? Without me needing to be there. And I'm an overachiever, so I ended up with a list of 12 different ways. Here's what I've learned. And I wrote this down, so I just want to read this verbatim. Your ego, right? This is what you learn as you get to be the next level entrepreneur. Your ego wants you to believe that you need to be in the business in order to make money. But that's just not simply the case. Your ego wants to feel like you are important, therefore the business won't make money unless you're there. But that's just not the case. That's just not true. I plan to model being a wealthy businesswoman whose business is not, I'm not tied to my business 24/7. I can take a maternity leave and I can thrive and my students can thrive. I have a question for you. I want to get, I shared my thoughts. I want to get your thoughts. So if you have a kid, I would like to know, how much maternity leave did you take? And did you like that amount of time, or did you want it to be less or more? I really am at the point where I can take as much or little maternity leave as I want to. And I'm leaning towards 6 weeks because I can't even, I've had a puppy and I know puppies and babies are different, but I had this puppy for 4 weeks and I can't even imagine not working for as long as I've had this puppy. But I know it's different when you have a kid. Obviously, your body goes through a bunch of changes. So I'm leaning towards 6 weeks. I really like to work. I love what I do. So I don't like the idea of taking a year off, but I know some people do. So I'm curious, if you had a kid, how long of a maternity leave did you take? And did you like it? What advice would you give me on length of time for maternity leave? Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you found this helpful. I've had a lot of people who asked me this question, how are you preparing your business as you look to have a baby? And so I'm like, I'm just gonna make it a YouTube video. So if you liked it, found it interesting, hit that like button. If you wanna learn how I'm growing my business, I make videos 3 times a week on getting clients, making money, growing your social media, just having a thriving online business. So be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos, and I'll see you in the next one.